You have the right to remain silent. Privilege against self-incrimination. Oh yeah, I watched Howard's video. He told me to shut up. Shut up. Hi there. I'm Howard Dworman with Dworman Law. Doing this video today because people ask me common questions and I want to answer them, and it probably applies to you too. One of the most common questions I get from people is my Miranda rights. And when am I supposed to use them? When do they apply? The first thing I'm going to tell you is very important. It's also the hardest thing for anybody ever to do. Shut up. You don't have to answer any officer's questions at any time, regardless of whether or not they've read you your Miranda rights. All of your constitutional rights, including your Miranda rights, which are not called Miranda rights, but they're in the Fifth Amendment, your privilege against self-incrimination, are outlined in the U.S. Constitution and the Arizona Constitution. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to have someone remind you of those rights in order for you to have them. You always have them. Just shut up. Things you have to do in Arizona: if an officer asks you to identify yourself, you have to provide your truthful name. You can't provide a nickname and say, hey, I'm Howie. You have to tell them, hey, I'm Howard Dworman, or whatever your name is. Let's talk about when the officers have to remind you about Miranda. This is a very common question that I get. Two things must happen in order for Miranda to trigger. One, you have to have a subjective belief that you are not free to leave. Usually an officer, if they're interrogating you or interviewing you, will put you in a room. They'll put you closest to the door, they'll close the door, and they'll just sit on the other side of the table. Do you feel like you're free to leave? Probably not, but they always tell you you're free to leave anytime you want. That's how they fix that. If you ask the officer or detective, can I leave? And they say yes, leave. At that point, they'll probably try to stop you. And when they do, you're going to say, I want my lawyer. Part number two is the officer asking you a question that they know is likely to elicit incriminating information. Asking you what your name is not necessarily going to elicit incriminating information. Asking for your address, same thing. Asking if you were involved in something or where you were at a certain date or time, that is likely to elicit incriminating information if you're being investigated for a crime. At that point, if you are not free to leave and you're being asked questions that the officer knows or should know are likely to elicit incriminating information, you should have been read your Miranda rights. You should have been reminded that you have the right to remain silent. If you weren't, that's a good problem to have. Most importantly, when the officer tells you you have the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, etc., etc. All of those things should be reminders that, oh yeah, I watched Howard's video. He told me to shut up. The officer is reminding you to shut up. Ask for a lawyer. This is generalized advice. This is blanket advice. It doesn't apply to any specific person. If you're dealing with something or you have a question about something specific to your case, please feel free to reach out to me. It's 480-256-2449. You can also email me, howard@dwormanlaw.com. I look forward to hearing from you.
If there's a topic we haven't covered yet or you have any questions about this video, please leave a comment below and we will address it as soon as possible. Thank you.